breaking news. PDP Laban officially endorses the BBM Sara candidacy. The ruling party PDP Laban formally endorses the same presidential bet Bongbong Marcos. In an exclusive and first interview, we are joined by PDP Laban President and Energy Secretary Alfonso G. Cusi to answer more pressing questions on this matter. Good morning, Secretary Cusi.
Good morning. Good morning.
Secretary Cusi, let me get straight to the question. How did PDP Laban end up with this decision, sir?
Una, believe naman ako sa inyo. I'm still on my way to do some announcement, and ito, ini-interview na ninyo ako. Baka tagain na po ng ibang network.
Yes, sir.
And, yes, Madam, going back to your question. How did we come up with the decision of choosing a candidate? Diba? Una, siyempre, alam naman natin marami nang ikipag-usap
Yes.
Sa amin, sa PDP, no? And kaya nga, before this morning's meeting, I have to give the courtesy to the people that we talk with about the decision that the party will be making or will be announcing.
Correct.
No? And of course, alam naman natin na ang PDP believes in democratic participative
Yes.
governance, no? And we listen to the people. Our members are empowered to make their political decision or recommendations. And so we went through that. Even before the beginning, sinabi na namin ang platform of governance ng PDP.
Yes.
In fact, I wrote an 11-point agenda, and we even I think we gave that to the papers, no?
Yes.
And that's the basis of our decision making. Paano ba? Dahil sabi nga natin, while PDP we don't have a candidate and for president, no?
Yes.
But for the locals or other positions, we have something like 7,000.
Okay.
So all of this will have a factor in the governance for the next 6 years of this administration. And we said that sige, para makasali tayo, para mahusay naman ang ating participation. And we follow, of course, we follow the laws, and siyempre yung constitution natin ng Pilipinas,
yes.
No? Nandyan yan. So susunod tayo sa framework. Sumusunod tayo sa framework. And then there are these candidates. Nandyan na yung mga kandidato. So we have to choose among all of them. And we came up with a decision that we have to make the endorse kung sino napili ng partido.
Okay. Mr. Secretary, was this a common decision? Was it recommended to President Duterte to finally and officially endorse the BBM Sara candidacy? Or lahat ho sa PDP Laban ay sumama ho dito sa desisyon na ito?
Well, sabi ko nga, yung sino makakapagpatuloy, no? The sustainability of the programs that the President has started. So gusto natin matuluyan. No? Yung build, the programs the program build will continue. The fight against drugs, corruption, achieving peace and order, ending terrorism, insurgencies, all of these things, better education for the people, better healthcare. These are all the aspirations of the ordinary people. And yan din ang hinaing ng mga membro natin, ng membro ng PDP. So, pakita natin, sabi siguro, and we cannot just be sitting, we have to support. No? So, kailangan naman, in this program, kailangan ng PDP, we have to support whoever will become the next president.
Yeah.
May choice kami, i-endorse namin ang aming choice sa BBM. Siyempre, this again, it will be subjected to the election process, and hopefully, he'll make it, and the program of government will be achieved.
Mr. Secretary, would PDP Laban now actively campaign for BBM and Sara ngayon pong May 2022 elections?
Well, siyempre, nandiyan yung mga local candidates, nandiyan na sa simula sa 25, this coming Friday. And I'm sure the local candidates will join in the campaign. Lahat yan. And of course, we have our senatorial candidates. Some of them are already with the unit team. So sama-sama yan. Tutulong. We will not be a passive participant.
Okay. Mr. Secretary, with BBM and Mayor Sara leading in the most recent surveys, do you think this endorsement would be a game clincher, so to speak?
That's how we look at it. It will be it will be a positive development. It will be an addition. It will be added. There is a value to it na makakatulong sa pagtaas ng convince the people to vote for the tandem.
Okay. Why did it take this time? Bakit po ganito katagal bago po naglabas po ng official endorsement ang PDP Laban, Mr. Secretary?
Well, sabi nga may process ang the party has a process. And we have to really do the consultation and the listening. And namin, no? Ano ba talaga? Kaya nga sabi may proseso yun. It's not a decision of one person.
Yes. Mr. Secretary, I give you the floor to talk to the PDP members para po at least po mas strengthen pa po itong endorsement. Kasi po, when we got the news, this was very breaking sa amin. And I'm sure a lot of people were surprised. What is your message to the PDP Laban as a whole, sir?
Well, again, to the PDP Laban members, the leadership, the organization, we are into this together, and kailangan pagtulungan natin, no? Pagtulungan natin ito, tulong tayo. I know that BBM is not a member of PDP, and he is the nearest to the programs of PDP, kaya sumusuporta tayong lahat. Anyway, I'll do my mamaya na lang ang iba dito sa announcement that I will be giving.
Okay. Thank you, Secretary, for squeezing us into your very tight schedule, and we are very lucky kasi kami po yung nauna. Salamat po, Secretary Cusi. God bless you.
Thank you. Nahuli ninyo ako. I'm on my way
Siyempre
to the
po.
When I'm in the car, nahuli ninyo ako. I just have to answer the phone. Thank you.
Salamat, Secretary
Bye-bye.
Cusi.
Bye-bye.
I am Leah Badillo Crisostomo reporting for Tribune News on Q. We'll be back after these reminders.
Fun and inspiring na kwentuhan? Sagot na yan ang programang Spotlight ng Daily Tribune. Makipagkwentuhan at kilalanin ng iba't ibang personalidad na kilala sa kani-kanilang larangan. Manood at makinig sa mga inspiring stories na kanilang ibabahagi kasama si Nina Ventura at Jojo Silvestre. Be ready ng mamangha at matuwa every Thursday alas 2 ng hapon dito lang sa Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now on YouTube.
News on Q. Now in other news, President Duterte raises ayuda to 500 pesos. President Rodrigo Duterte on Monday ordered the Department of Finance to increase the monthly cash aid for the poor to 500 pesos from the earlier approved 200 pesos to help them cope with the impact of rising fuel prices. In a speech in Malacanang, Duterte said he had instructed Finance Secretary Carlos Sonny Dominguez III to provide additional financial assistance to low-income families. Duterte acknowledged that providing a higher amount of cash and would cost the government billions worth of funds. Duterte said he was hoping that additional cash aid would go a long way to help and that recipients would not use it to bet on sabong. About 12 million families belonging to the bottom 50% of Filipino households and listed as beneficiaries of the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program or 4Ps are qualified to receive the unconditional cash transfer for the entire year. These are on top of the 1,400 pesos to 3,000 pesos aid that they have been receiving monthly from 4P as health and education grants, depending on the number of their children. Dominguez previously admitted that the amount was not enough to cover the continuous increase in fuel prices, but he said it was what the government can afford to provide. Lawmakers and concerned groups have criticized the administration for the meager cash assistance, saying the amount won't help Filipino families. Giving cash aid was seen as an alternative to proposals to suspend excise tax on fuel products. The country's economic managers said the state coffers stand to lose 105.9 billion pesos if the government won't collect excise tax on oil. The first fuel price rollback for the year is expected today, March 22. And now fuel prices slashed. Motorists can finally heave a sigh of relief as oil companies slash pump prices of petroleum products this week, reversing their 11 straight weeks of massive hikes. In separate advisories on Monday, oil firms announced a 11.45 peso rollback per liter of diesel and a 5.45 peso cut per liter of gasoline starting today, March 22. Kerosene prices will also drop by 8.55 pesos per liter for the rest of the week. In an episode of Daily Tribune's TV and online show Gising Na, Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi said he is expecting to see the decline in fuel prices until next week. Cusi attributed the price rollback this week to the talks between Russia and Ukraine for a possible ceasefire, which significantly tempered the oil demand. Although prices are still significantly high, Cusi assured that local supply remains sufficient, with oil companies and refiners exceeding the minimum inventory requirements set by the government. Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky on Monday said his country would be destroyed before it surrendered its cities to invading Russian forces, as he doubled down on a call for direct talks with Vladimir Putin as the key to ending the war. As Russia defended overnight strikes that reduced a Kyiv shopping mall to rubble, killing 8, U.S. President Joe Biden held a call with European leaders to address the increasingly brutal tactics employed by Moscow, undeterred by unprecedented Western sanctions. But despite a soaring civilian toll, the Ukrainian president made clear his countrymen would not hand over the capital, the eastern city of Kharkiv, or the heavily bombarded and besieged Mariupol. And that wraps up the stories this morning, but stay tuned at Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now on YouTube for an exclusive interview with Communications Secretary and the Presidential Spokesperson, Martin Andonar, on Straight Talk with Daily Tribune at 10 a.m. And now, before we go, we would like to thank the following: the SM Store, Aranda City, Department of Tourism, MG Motors, Hina Motors, Security Bank, Empire Eastland Holdings Incorporated, and Overseas Community Affairs Council member Alan Lin of Republic of China for their continued support. Again, this is Venice Bautista on Tribune News on Q. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay at home. Good morning.